Now, one other operator we're just going to touch on briefly allows us to use regular expressions to match fields with string values. To use this operator, you need to have a fairly good understanding of regular expressions. But it's important that you know this operator is there for the situations in which regular expressions make sense for an application. Now in our collection, the documents have an awards field that has a subdocument with a text subfield. This text describes the awards that a given movie has received. And for this particular data set, given the way it was generated, if a movie has won or was nominated for an Oscar, you'll see that reflected in the first word of this text field. This field has a certain pattern it follows in reporting on the awards for movies. And we can see that reflected if we just do a bit of a projection on the entire collection. So, for Oscar-winning movies, we tend to see the word won first and nominated first for Oscar-nominated movies. Now, there are some other awards that follow the same pattern. Here's one example. But for purposes of this example, let's go ahead and use the fact that Oscar awards are stipulated in this way. So here we have an example of the use of the regex operator. Now, if you're not familiar with regular expressions, this syntax is probably a little bit confusing. An explanation of regular expressions is outside the scope of this particular lesson, but essentially these slashes delimit the regular expression. The caret here means start at the beginning of whatever value we're matching against and match exactly a capital W, a lowercase o, a lowercase n, and then this dot is a wildcard character that indicates match any character any number of times. That's what the asterisk means here. So basically what we're saying here is give me back all documents where the awards.text field begins with the word won. And to make this a little bit more precise, I should probably include this to indicate that I really want to see a space character there. So I want to ignore, for example, documents where this field begins with the word wonder. Okay, so let's take a look at that, and as usual, let's project out the values of most interest for this query. And you can see that we're getting back the kinds of values that we want. These movies here are all those that are indicating the movie won at least one Oscar. So that's a very simple example of using the regex operator. If you have a use case where regular expressions are important, I strongly encourage you to dive deeper into the use of this operator. There's a lot of flexibility here.